Class, here's the first Raptor program with a procedure. A procedure is similar to a subchart. It has a start and an end and one or more symbols in between. What makes it different, though, is the use of parameters. Take a look at what we've got here. You'll notice that inside the start oval we have in radius, out area. These are the parameters that this particular procedure is going to use. It's going to take an input called radius and it's going to output a parameter called area. Take a look at the comment. Circle area, we've called this one circle area, and by the way, we can produce these in the same way we produce subcharts by right-clicking up on the main tab. Circle area is a procedure that has two parameters, an input parameter called radius and an output called area. And as you can see here, we're using the formula for the area of a circle. Area equals pi times radius times radius. Pi, by the way, is a constant in Raptor that you can use whenever you're working with circles. So the radius is going to be multiplied by itself, then multiplied by pi, and then assigned to the variable area. And that variable is going to be, that parameter I should say, that parameter is going to be tossed back to the main program when this procedure finishes. So just like subcharts, procedures have a start and a finish, but they can accept values, numbers or strings, which are called parameters, input parameters, and then they can also output values, output parameters, and return those back to the main program from which they came. Now I'm going to double click on the start symbol, and here's how I actually created that circle area procedure. I called it circle area here, and I set up two parameters, radius and area, and by checking off the input box we made radius an input parameter and area an output parameter. You can see we've got some unused ones here. We can have as many input and outputs as we can fill up here. So that's how you actually create your procedure. You have to set up the name and any parameters that it might need for input, in this case just one, and any values that you want to have returned by the procedure, in this case the area parameter. Let's go back to main, and you call a procedure in the same way that you call a subchart. You use the call symbol, mention the name of the procedure, and then you have to match the way it was defined. You know, remember that we had two parameters? Well, 10 is going to be assigned to the radius inside this particular procedure, and we also have to mention the output parameter area. Raptor is somewhat unusual in this respect in that you have to name the output parameter as you're calling it. Most programming languages, none that I know of, require you to do that. So argument 10 is going to be passed into the radius parameter for the internal use of the procedure. Once that's done its job, it'll come back into the main procedure here, and we'll be able to get the value area and use it in an output. Let's give it a run, and it's instructive to watch it run step by step. Now watch what happens next step. We're down into the procedure, and we've got our radius value has been assigned from the literal value 10 that we used back in main. If we go through a few more steps, you'll see the value of the area as this calculation finishes. And we still have our radius, and we're still in the circle area. So we're in their sub-procedure. One more step, the sub-procedure finishes, and it tosses the area back into the main procedure. That's what the output parameter does, and then we can use it here in an output statement. So if we finish this up, we should get some output. And here it is over here. So that's a brief introduction to procedures. More to come.